Hey everyone,
Welcome
back.
welcome. We are now on episode 4. For those of you who have saw the 3 previous ones, we thank you. Hopefully you commented, liked, and subscribed,
Yes.
and hopefully even sent it out. So our 4th episode is going to be. We're just going to go ahead and jump right on in
Jump
it.
right on into
All the
it.
formalities are over with.
So let me ask you a question, Chad.
Yes.
What is the dirtiest thing in the world in a physical form?
In this physical form,
physical
let me think
form.
about it. Well, let me not even play around with y'all. So, there are some lyrics to the song that, I actually clung on to these lyrics as a child. And I'm just going to read out the lyrics and see if anybody can guess it before we go ahead and give it away. So the lyrics goes as such, and I'm not going to sing them, I'm just going to read them. So, some people got to have it. I'm doing the tune in my head.
Okay.
Some people who really need it.
Yeah.
Do things, bad things with it.
Yeah. So.
Now you got it, see?
Hey.
So if you haven't picked up yet, our 4th episode is on money.
Money.
In all actuality, we could probably go on for days and days and days and days and days about, the goods of money, but also the bads of money. It was just going for days, but we pretty much consolidated some important points that we want to make about pretty much all bad things that money brings to the world, society, period.
Yep, period. So, first of all, how does money shape everyone? How does money contribute to us as a society?
Well, if people haven't picked up on it yet, everyone's put into classes. If you have plenty money, then you're considered rich. You're considered wealthy. You're considered middle class. You're considered poor. You're considered living impoverished.
You're put on a hierarchy.
Homeless, pretty much, once you bottom out.
Yeah.
But that's what shapes everyone. That's the viewpoint that everyone attaches when they think about money and how much people have of it or whatnot. Money, in my opinion, and if people think about it, they'll probably come to the same conclusion. But it's worthless, 100% worthless.
It's worthless.
It's paper materials. It's a materialistic thing. The only reason why it's important as it is because they have made it such a high top, commodity,
necessity.
A necessity.
At this point.
In all actuality, is pretty much needed more than water because it. You have to use money to purchase water.
Water.
You can't even, if you don't pay your water bill, they shutting that off.
Unless you have a well in your backyard.
Unless you have well water or some type of clean water supply. Right. If you're not paying that water service, they will shut that off. So what you need to actually live, you can't even get without
money.
Without a materialistic object that they have made so important.
They made important. Also, they manipulated from the start. I mean, the hierarchy has been manipulated in America.
Oh well, that's the thing about it. You make it important. You make the people who you want to be important or you feel important have it, and let them pretty much trickle down what they want to trickle. Let them pretty much distribute how they want to distribute. Let them be in charge of pretty much what goes on with the wealth of the country or whatnot. At the end of the day, I thought because it was a materialistic thing, because it's made from trees, that it's printable, therefore
it would be an endless amount of money.
As long as there's trees, there's money to print. Therefore, everyone is fine. Everyone is straight. How can you put a cap on how much you print, but then have all of these millionaires and billionaires? Doesn't that then mean that some of these people out here are richer than the country itself?
That 1%.
Then the people are richer than what the country is actually worth. If a country has a cap on how much money it could print out, then shouldn't that be like its yearly worth or whatnot?
It should be.
If I have a cap on, matter of fact, put it to you like this: you go to work. And you work for the year. For that year, your gross income is pretty much how much in money you're worth, right?
Right.
So we're attaching that to the country aspect.
Right.
However much they can print, that's how much they're. So there's people out there who's worth more than what, so that doesn't make
That's a
any
good point.
sense when they're
No.
printing it out. And they say, stop the printing right here. This is all we can print out for the year. I understand there's homeless people. I understand there's people living in poverty, can't pay bills. However, they have to work for it.
Even though we can print it, even though there's a way to give you currency or a way to not be homeless, we're not gonna do it.
But the thing is, I know
That's
that they're
insane.
going to come at the angle of, well, no one's going to work and everybody's
Yeah.
just going to be banging and knocking on the door. But that's what you create when you create money.
Right.
When you create a hierarchy of money, the more you have, the more you can do, the more you can experience in life, the more
The more you could buy, the more you can.
the more power you have,
The more
the more
power,
people,
yeah.
the more people like you, or the perception of at least.
Exactly. And money. You judge someone. If someone has money, offer it. What do you see someone? If you see someone with chains on, gold in their mouth, gold on their wrist, what do you think?
It
You
depends.
think that they're successful. You think that they made it. They did something right in life, and it shouldn't be that way. We're judging you based off of something that's materialistic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
everybody have their, stereotypical ways where they view people, and we stereotype people, like she just said. But then on the flip side, you can see a total different walk of life that have, high-end bags, and they may have a high-end vehicle, and you may look at them as stuck up or arrogant or entitled.
It's all perception.
Yeah, and the people she described, they may be the people who at one time didn't come from money,
Mm-hmm.
and then once they got it, didn't know how to, didn't know what to do with
Just
it, so
wanted
start pulling it. You
Slap some gold in your
wanted
mouth.
wanted to show off their wealth. That's how they view money. They view money as self-status.
Yeah,
The more money I have, I'm going to go spend it on materialistic things to make me look appealing to everyone, so they can be like, oh, he must have money, or look at the amount of jewelry they have on, look at the type of clothing they have on, look at the type of vehicle they have. They must have money. So you then start to feel good about yourself, only because of the way that you feel the world views you,
Yeah.
only because of the false sense of whatever that money is bringing you.
Right. I mean, there's those type of people who want to flaunt their money, and there's also the wealthy or successful people who do have money, and they're even perceived in a bad way. They're perceived as stuck up or arrogant or entitled, anything that would be humbling, anything other than humble.
Yeah,
So,
and that goes for saying the people with money, and then the flip side to that coin.
right.
When you have money, the people around you will also act differently.
Of course. You're going to be
Seriously.
their bank. You're going to be their confidant. You're going to be the person that they go to every time.
You're going to be, and you know what? It's all relative to where you are at that particular part of life. Case in point.
True. Yeah.
If someone comes in, tell me you haven't heard it. I don't know if you've heard it. I've heard it plenty of times in my life. Someone comes into some money. Let's say income tax time. They come into some money. And this is typically someone who always needs help. So they don't come from money. They always need help. But when they get the income tax, they have that lump sum. And then all of a sudden, you're going to hear people around them talking about, oh, they got income tax.
yeah.
They're acting funny now.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as that money gone, they're going to be right back, responding, or right back doing this, or right back. As always, when somebody has a little bit extra money, or they come into money, they're always acting funny. Or another aspect of the people around you changes. You now got to watch your friends, the grimy people who want to manipulate you out of money, family who want to manipulate you out of money.
Yep.
Shit, perhaps even kill you for it. Like, seriously. I mean,
I've heard so many stories out there. We've seen so many stories or true crime stories where people have killed family members over money.
you could overhear. Somebody can overhear us in a restaurant talking about life insurance, and
you got to be careful.
And
these
that
days.
person can then somehow manipulate themselves into your life, my life, to try to manipulate one or the other to turn, to do some old devious stuff over some money, some life insurance.
Over some life insurance. People could be working for you, fixing something up in your house, and they can overhear that conversation.
I guarantee you this happened way more than people think it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, the statistics are probably crazy for that. So
So usually, now this is my personal opinion on the thought of if I ever had, a bunch of money, or if ever, I'm sure everyone had that fantasy thought
Everyone
before.
probably dreams about what they would do if they came into a large sum of money or $1 million.
Now, personally,
Dream.
I've never been attached to money. I've never had like this, gotta get my bag, gotta get on my grind, money, money, money. Money has never ever in my life, even younger, been the most important thing to me.
Or any
ever.
materialistic thing.
Yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
you know that,
Yeah.
But I've always fantasized, if I hit the Powerball, if I hit the Lotto, if I did this. At the end of the day, I'll be honest, I would be freaked out if I had millions of dollars. I would be paranoid.
It would instantly hit you,
I
the
would
paranoia.
probably want to go to a remote island and pretty much seclude myself. I wouldn't trust anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would bring a lot of
happiness,
yeah.
a lot of.
And I guess that's why they say it doesn't bring happiness. Everybody knows common sense to say it makes life easier.
Yeah.
But as far as talking about, a feeling, an emotion, happiness, everybody knows it doesn't. No way it can bring that.
It's easier to pay that light bill at the end of the day, but
that's about it. Look at the if it brought so much happiness, you wouldn't have the millionaire celebrities who kill themselves,
who commit suicide. You're right.
The doctors, the lawyers, all the crime shows that we watch,
yeah.
who was making all of this money, have this picture perfect life from the outside looking in, but full of depression. And you would think, oh, they have money, their life must be, great. But
you would think
that's that don't judge a book by its cover.
That money brings more problems.
That exterior always looks different. When you get inside, it's always different. That's like people on Instagram, how people get called out about living double lives.
That's not the life that they really live. That's the life that they want you to think that they live. It's all about the perception, as we've been saying. So. That leads right into them also having access to drugs, having access to a certain lifestyle.
The more look, they make songs about it. But the more money you make, the more you're gonna spend, pretty much, and that's
it's true.
That's true to form. That really is. It doesn't matter unless you just have so much of it to where you just burnt out of spending. If you really,
which is ridiculous, you shouldn't have that much money.
Yeah, if you really haven't tasted having the freedom of really going to purchase what you want at the drop of a dime, when you do come into that, you're probably gonna get out of hand with it, and that's why you see a lot of the people with the Powerball end up blowing the money, is because they never understood how to manage it.
There's so many stories of people just blowing through their lottery wins and are winning multiple times and blowing through it over and over again.
And that's because they created a chaotic lifestyle, because they got that bulk money. They didn't understand that it's not an amount that's going to come in forever. You get that bulk money. Once you spend it, it's gone.
Yeah.
But just the perception of seeing that number and that big number in the beginning and thinking, oh, I'm a millionaire,
so I can spend like a millionaire, buy things like a millionaire, and before you know it, you're a little folk again, bro.
Yeah, trying to hide, embarrass,
Yeah.
And it really is if people come into millions and knowing that if you manage that, you essentially could, live comfortable for the rest of your life.
Without having to work another day of your life for someone else, at least.
Yeah. And knowing that you had that opportunity and you blew it and you went wasted, you looking back thinking of all the little pointless vehicles you bought, the 8 vehicles you only drive one once.
The house, the $1 million house that you can't even pay the taxes on or afford to pay anything on anymore, it's all gone. So, and that goes into like, why do people feel like they're more blessed the more money they have?
I don't know. You see postings. It is always like always like, oh, I got a raise at work, blessed.
Blessings on top of blessings,
the raise or the promotion, the promotion we understand, that's a level up. But at the end of the day, we're not working for nothing. Everybody is working for money. So at the end of the day, it's really the money that they're excited about, and they always correlate that blessing, that money, to blessings.
Yeah.
But then what I feel is kind of hypocritical and contradictory is the saying, money is the root of all evil, and everybody's heard it. Everybody understands it.
Yeah. So how is something that's the root of all evil? How could that be a blessing in your life?
That's the manipulation of what money brings to society, and everybody well, not everybody, majority of people has latched on this, get the bag, money, money,
Yeah,
money,
there's
money,
a small
money.
group of people who do feel as if blessings come in different forms or other forms in life other than materialistic forms or currency.
I'll never correlate money to being a blessing because, in my opinion, most things that I correlate blessings aren't things that you can purchase, aren't, tangible things,
I agree.
so.
I agree. It's something that you feel within yourself, something that you
something
get
that you get
spiritually,
or something from another, some characteristics or attributes from another person, or from experiences or something like that.
Agree.
But nothing you could go out and purchase,
Yep, I agree.
We are going to jump on to, we have an episode that is going to be separate that's going to focus on this in its entirety, gambling. However, we just want to touch on really quick, in my opinion, I've pretty much been gambling since I was, yay high. Kind of embedded in me, still trying to pull myself away from that, lifestyle pretty much. But in my opinion, it only exists because of the possibility of winning money. So if they took away, I guarantee you, if they took away the possibility of winning money and say it's gonna, be like lifetime of potato chips or lifetime of bread.
They definitely wouldn't be as quick to sign up for
lifetime of bell peppers, lifetime of onions. Like, well, this is what we're gonna be drawn for.
Yeah.
Put your dollar in, and if you win a lifetime of, whatever it is. You take away that money and watch how much people stop playing.
Yeah.
Watch how much people stop going to casinos, right? Because it's not about the things that you need in life, and money isn't going to really bring you the things that you need in life. It's going to bring you the things that you want, the things that you want. They try to attach it to, force you to, buy things that things that should be free. Come on, water. That's a necessity to living.
Mm-hmm.
That's a necessity to living, and it's not free, but yet. What is it? 70% of the world is water, and I understand it all.
There's a way. There's a will. There's a way. There's a way to figure it out.
Y'all cloning shit.
Exactly.
Y'all doing this. Y'all doing like get out of here.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if you guys really don't have a way with 70% of the world being water to produce more water, then what the fuck? What are we doing wasting our time cloning people? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what are we doing wasting our time? What are we doing wasting our time with electronics and laptops when the focus, if we don't have a way to make sure that there's a lifetime water supply, clean water supply, if y'all if the reason why it's so is because there's not an unlimited water supply, so we have to put some type of monopoly on a natural, resource or whatever.
But they spend time on technology. There's a new iPhone released every 6 or 7 months. You spend your time, and people line up for that.
And if that's the case, then all of that shit everything should be put on hold until you be like, no, we need to figure out how we keep this going, how we keep humanity alive, because you can't live without this, So the computers, the laptops, the Fire Sticks, the iPhones, all of that can wait till we figure that out. They figured that out. They know we're good on water, but I don't understand why they sell it. Why and how can they sell it?
Yeah, that's just what they do. And I know that as far as gambling goes, gambling encompasses so many different things. I know he touched on scratch-offs, but there's also in the lotto, there's also the horse racing, casino gambling, the sports betting, the scratch-offs. Everything encompasses gambling, and they're just throwing it in everyone's faces.
There's at-home
cash register.
At-home gambling. I mean, I come from a family that would throw their own card games, their own bingo games. But the adults was, playing gambling in the, in the kitchen, on the living room, in the main room. The little kids was learning how to do it on the floor, in the bedroom.
You guys got influence from that at a young age.
Right. And then also, in addition to that, I mean, we used to. I don't know where this game was created from, but it definitely was passed down. But we used to get all in the room, the kids, and we used to have like change quarters and stuff like that. And we used to all have to be behind the line, and we used to toss the quarters to like the furthest wall, and the person with the quarter closer to the wall would win everybody else quarters that didn't go. So that was a form of gambling. And then we got creative with it, and we started making side bets as we were betting other, so like seriously.
Oh, y'all was getting serious with it.
Like seriously, and the older you get, the higher the stakes get, the more serious, the money is involved.
Then money becomes more real the older that you get.
Oh,
so the stakes definitely get higher. So
money becomes more real, and you understand the value of $1 a little bit more than you was when you were younger. However, that habit is already created, and you're now in the rabbit hole of thinking this is going to be the time I hit big.
Yeah.
Everybody, the reason people gamble is because they want that hope of never having to work again.
Yeah.
Wanting to win so much money where I don't have to work for another soul again. Like seriously.
That's what they.
Why else? Why else are
they want to hit big? That's what they want.
If that's not the ultimate goal for wanting that amount of money to just be able to do you and not have to work, and just live whatever type of life you want, then why is money so important? Then why are you gambling? Then why you're not gambling to win $300?
Yeah, you're gambling to win it, hit it big.
To hit it big.
Yeah.
To hit it big.
Yeah, and I can't lie. We've had. You want to talk about our stories with gambling? I mean, even myself, I'm not big on gambling, but I felt that high that it can get
I introduced it to her. We went on a few cruises, and they have the little casino on the cruise ships, and we would, I definitely wasn't going to go on a cruise ship with a casino and not figure out a way to play something. And this was back when I was a little bit, actually into it. So it was like green light, green light, green light. So, the first couple of cruises, she really went, I would try to teach her the game. She would sit at the table with me and kind of pick it up, and she wouldn't understand it. It was poker.
Poker.
But it wasn't the traditional Texas Hold'em. You play, it was heads up against the dealer or whatnot, so it's slightly different. But she caught on to it quick, and even would go in the room and we would just play hand for hand. And she caught on to it, but she would never want to play. And I was like, just play, just play.
Because that's playing with money. I didn't want to play with real money and think I know what I'm doing and sit down and it's completely different, which it was. It was completely different than just watching, actually playing. But it definitely gives you a high.
Yeah, I was going to say when she finally did, and I finally did convince her to play, she actually, saw the adrenaline rush that it did bring, and saw how people can get caught up into the one more hand, because they're hoping that it's going to be the next hand that brings them that payday. And we've experienced success where
that's when it got real.
Yeah,
when we started winning, even outside of poker. What was the game? The little claw game. We even won a couple $100 out of that too. But we won some money out of that.
Those little crane games that they have in our arcades, where they might go down and pick up a stuffed animal or something like that. They had it to where they had stacks of. It was like majority stacks of $100 bills that was saran wrapped, into one bundle, and it was just $101 bills. And then they had $250 worth of fives, bundled up, and then they had $500 worth of tens bundled up.
And we were just chasing it, and even that game, it's like, just $10 more, just $10 more.
Oh yeah,
we got it. We're close. It's right there. It's sitting right there.
It's $1 per pull, and that you'll get your transaction history at the end of the cruise and be like, man, we really did just spend like $200 on a crane game that costs, and it's not, I'm exaggerating, but that costs $1 per pull.
But I
guarantee you, people do spend $200-$300 on that $1 per pull crane game for the thought of winning that $500 that's bundled up right there, that keep on getting in the claw and then somehow falling out.
That claw is rigged though. We talked about how that claw was rigged, but
I hit that sucker twice though. We got pictures in there. I'm like, we have
the pictures to prove it. Okay, we hit big with poker, with the crane game, and We had fun, but
We told her our last experience gambling actually was a good experience.
we
But
left off on a good note.
even though we left out on a good note, we still, gradually pulling our, well, we haven't gambled since, but don't have a reason to, but pulling our way away from that, lifestyle, just because at the end of the day, you're chasing money that more than likely you're not going to win, and you're throwing away money in the process.
You're chasing the money, and again, you're chasing that high, which can become addictive, and it can be stressful. I mean, you could feel super stressed behind chasing your money back that you lost, or chasing your house back. Some people, like, they go hard with it, and they put their house up. They put materialistic things up,
I mean, it's depicted in
That's
movies,
stressful.
in a lot of movies that you see when this gambling is involved, when somebody back us against the wall, and they just think that this is the hand, and they're so confident, and they go risking their house, their car, their pink slip, their watch, their wedding ring, whatnot, and lose. And that should be lessons, for people to pick up within movies, that is that possibility of losing. If that risk ain't worth the reward, sometimes it ain't worth, chasing it.
A lot of times it isn't, and sometimes gambling is personal. If you're at a personal poker game, and you lose someone or cheat someone, that's your life.
Yeah.
That could be deadly.
Yeah,
So,
those, it's different from the, and I've never, I see how it's depicted in movies when you have like the car counters and stuff like that, how the casinos, will get one of it and bring them in the back room and beat them up, rough them up or whatnot. Now, I know that's a movie, so I don't know in real life if that actually happens. I don't know nobody with that type of money to gamble like that.
Me neither.
Now, but as he mentioned, like the at home, little card games and dice games, and
People
you take
died over dice games. People have died over card games.
Yeah, we done seen, not just First 48, but other crime shows where, people done died over like $10 in a dice game. Like, seriously. And
people will kill you over anything these days. You guys got to be careful out there. Like, seriously.
And this is a crazy thing. Somebody will kill you over $5 because of the principle, right? Because of the principle of stealing money from them. Because of the principle of selling such an important object from them. But if they had, an object that costs $5, maybe, a pack of cigarettes that costs more than $5, you think they're going to kill somebody over a pack of cigarettes? I know some people that crazy to do it.
That's a good point.
I know some people that crazy to do it, but if this costs $5 and somebody stole this,
you're not going to kill them over that, but seriously. The $5 that,
you're not going to kill them over that, but the $5 bought that. But if somebody steals that raw cash from you, for some reason, it increases the disrespect level.
Yeah.
Like, he just stole $5. I gotta kill him on GP because of the principle of it. And it's and it's just because of the importance that money, the stigma that money has attached to it. Like, ain't nobody gonna play with me behind my money, behind my materialistic paper thing that, and I understand it does carry a value, but that's only because let me tell you why. That's because y'all keep people keep the value up.
Yeah.
Including me. I'm not saying y'all. People keep
as a people.
Yeah, keep the value of everything up. You know why? If people stop spending their money on frivolous things, then that value for those things are going to go down and go down and go down, and eventually that business won't be in business. And so be it. You'll have more money in your pockets. I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, every business is in business to make money. Point blank, period. They might come at you with them phony mission statements or them phony principles and say, we're here for you, we're a family-oriented company, we're here for you, we want this. At the end of the day, they want what's in your pockets. At the end of the day, they behind the scenes,
they're
plotting and scheming on how can we increase our intake from last year, our revenue from last year,
and even if it means taking a little bit from you or losing your trust, they're going to do it as a business.
But bottom line, they're going to do it. Look at what Wells Fargo did. You think they're the only ones out there doing shit like that? You think they're the only ones out there doing shit like that?
They got caught, but they're not the only ones doing it.
And we hear things like this all the time from big ass billion-dollar companies where it's like, y'all got all this money, y'all still got the nerve to squeeze out pennies from people who don't even really have pennies to be given, but yet because y'all made life to live cost everything. They have no choice but
Yeah.
to, you know, give away their pennies to everybody pretty much.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's evil. It's all about money.
Every business. I mean, electricity. You know, we love electricity, but really, should it cost? Like, really, should it cost? Obviously,
That's a necessity as well. I mean, we have daylight.
I mean, yeah, it's a necessity. We've been to on cruises to other countries where they're telling us stories how after 6, p.m. the government shuts down
completely shuts down cable, like all electricity.
All of that, and how they would have to sneak and like try to power stuff or risk their lives to try to, they have, I mean, you need electricity is a necessity. It was invented.
How do they warm up like milk for their children at night? Like, you don't even think about stuff like that. Like, how do they live? But they find a way. They find a way. They make it do, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, we want to talk about the CEOs of businesses. While we're at the bottom, not making a thing, the CEOs at the top are making millions, if not billions.
I saw a story. I didn't even watch the story. I just saw the little caption or the headline, and it said something about somebody was confronting a CEO of a company about why he's not taking pay cuts if he's a billionaire and if he's bringing in millions in profit every year. Why he's not taking a pay cut if he's cutting a job of some of his entry level people because there's not there's not enough to pay or whatnot, and that's a good question. Like, if you're bringing, first of all, you're already set for life, point blank, period, right?
You right. Are set for life. The people next to you are set for life.
So your profit is millions per year. Your profit. That means after all the books are settled, what you brought after all your expenses, your profit is millions per year. Millions per year. And we're not talking about like no small mom and pop businesses. We're talking about those businesses.
Large corporations.
This was a large Fortune 500. So we're talking about millions per year. And you can't take even cutting your salary to $3 million would be significant to maybe increasing some of the lower level or whatever, or if you're facing cutting them, keeping them.
Some corporations will cut their salaries just to save face, and then will increase their bonuses in the background.
That's 100% what they'll do.
Yeah.
They'll go on the media and on public and say, I'm going to go ahead and try to save my employees or try to save my company from going bankrupt. Whatever the case is, I'm going to go ahead and cut my salary, and I'm going to cut it by whatever percent. And then behind the scenes, what they don't tell you is he just gave himself a bonus that probably was slightly higher than the salary would have been.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous bonus. Like, the bonus is a ridiculous amount. I heard millions at some point with a corporation.
After the whole housing market crash, in 2008, all of those Wall Street people who put the country in trouble, and all of those people who quote unquote lost their job, they left with $1 million bonuses,
and how
packages.
If so many civilians took a loss, they lost their homes. There's so many marriages failed because they lost everything.
Not even because people lost. If we had to quote unquote if they had to get bailed out, if the bank industry had to get bailed out, bailed out, meaning the government had to pass some law to say, we're going to give y'all this enough money to keep y'all afloat, or else the economy would probably be no more. How can that happen? And in the same breath, you say, however, these people who kind of are responsible, they receive bonuses even after the fact, even after all the damage was done and we knew who was responsible. Their bonuses was still kept. Only a very, 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 very small percentage of the people who were held accountable or held responsible.
Which doesn't make any sense. And I bet if we were to ask them, I'm sure people have asked them, how does that work out? How do you walk away with millions and are not arrested or held responsible in any way? And they'll probably just give you some fluffed up BS excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So
But the one thing that all of these business people who are billionaires, millionaires, celebrity, who got all that, who has all the money, all these people probably have one thing in common other than having a significant amount of money, something else that they want.
Something else that they can't buy. What would that be?
That would be time. I guarantee you, if you ask a rich man what he really want in life, he's gonna say time. He's gonna want to, with that money, if he could buy more time, he would buy more time. A poor dude gonna go blow their money on them chains and blow, but
someone who hasn't had anything will blow it. Someone who's had everything will.
Yeah. They understand the reason why they want more time is because they understand they had everything else and it didn't do anything for them. It did absolutely. I had the boat, I had the cars, I had the RVs, I went to trips. It didn't do nothing.
They're chasing that high. They've already felt that high, and they're chasing for even more.
And they see that it didn't really do anything to enhance their life. So at the end of the day, they know that, hey, I don't want that because that does nothing. What I want is something that money can't buy.
Yep.
Time.
Money.
I done been fooled into thinking that money was everything, and it's not. Because if I could care less about. I got all the money in the world, but I don't want. The only thing that I really want is time. If I could buy something, I would spend all this money on time.
Mm-hmm. And no one can buy it, and they're probably pissed off trying to figure out ways to create.
That's probably why they're doing all these damn artificial experiments and like
they're gonna fuse humans.
They're gonna do some crazy
robots
stuff.
At one point. That's my guess. We said it here was infusing robots and humans.
Look, seriously. I mean, it's not far fetched. I mean, seriously. I want y'all to please use y'all common sense. It is not far fetched for 100%. Half human, half robot, all robot. You see it. You see the sex dolls. Again, more realistic. You see the thing. I don't know if y'all know, but there was some scientists in another country. I don't know what country it was, but there was some scientists in another country building robots. I don't know what type of robots they were building, but it literally was about 16 to 18 scientists that ended up getting killed by the robots that they built. And they even tried to shut it down, and somehow some of the robots that did the killing shut down and then ended up rebooting themselves, reprogramming themselves. It's a computer. What you expect it to do? Seriously, don't your computer do random shit? It doesn't display humanistic characteristics. It just does random.
It's a computer. It is technology.
But
sequences of numbers slapped together, and they can malfunction sometimes.
But so there's a movie. Justin Timberlake is actually.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have watched it. It's starring Justin Timberlake. It's called In Time.
It's called In Time.
In Time.
Now, what the movie is really about is essentially if you are, I think it's the year is way in the future, way in the future, and everyone has a little clock on their wrist that depicts the amount of time that they have left on their life, and coincidentally, how your pretty much filtered in life is by how much money you have. The more money you have, the more amount of time that you have to live.
It's like their economic system is set up based off of time, and currency is their time.
Yeah, it's a correlation to, money correlates to time if you have more money. And it's so funny that we're talking about that, because that's what they done created a movie about what they really would, and it's true. And in this movie, the people, the bottom feeders, so who the masses would be, they literally, their time on a daily basis is, I think, maxed at 24 hours or something like that. And every day you see them standing in line to go buy more time. You see them going to work, busting their ass, and then you go see them standing in a long ass line every single day to buy more time just to live.
Just enough to get by.
Once their time expires, and your time can expire just from you can oversleep and your time can expire. You're responsible for keeping that up, but your labor is what pays for that. And then on the flip side, in a movie, when you go to the other, to where they have money, totally different environment. The people don't look sick. It don't look like nothing is going on. Everything
Yeah.
is cool. You know, you couldn't tell that anything in the world was going on if you looked at that side of the movie.
Yeah, the other side of the movie was catastrophic. This side, they were living
They
the
was
life.
straight. They was
And they had an absurd amount of time on their wrist. It was crazy.
And also what it is on your 25th birthday is when you stop aging. So, you know, essentially your physical, you know, is going to stop at your 25th birthday.
So they're stopping time.
But that's when your time starts. So it's on your 25th birthday is when your time go ahead and start.
I remember now.
But then that's when you stop aging as well. So as long as you have enough time to stay alive, you're going to stay in that physical 25-year-old, you know, form.
Yeah.
But if you ain't no millionaire, you're going to be pretty much
kaput. It's crazy, but it's a great movie. We actually watched it maybe about a year ago, maybe less than that.
Yeah, see, people are genetically engineered to stop aging on their 25th birthday.
Yeah, when a 1 year countdown on their forearm begins. Yeah, so they get a countdown. They get a heads up.
Yep, so they get that 1 year. And see, here we go. So Dayton is the poorest and manufacturing ghetto where people rarely have more than 24 hours on their clock to live.
So in the ghetto, they rarely have more than 24 hours on their clocks in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And this is a movie, you guys, made in 2011.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really good movie, but the movie in itself will make you think. You know, one, it'll make you think, how would life be if it was like that? I mean, I know how messed up, but how would life be if it was like that? Two, you know, what end would you end up on?
Yeah.
You know, at three, how would you feel? How would you react? You know, happen to pretty much. Oh, and there's and within the movie, there's crime. You know, you could steal someone's, you know, time. You could take someone's.
Oh yeah.
Or you could transfer it to people. You could, you know, so people try to, you know, there's gangs out there, you know,
who are stealing your time. So that's crazy.
It correlates to what? Money.
To money. And then it's like life or death. Seriously.
No, it seriously is.
Imagine the level of stress you would have or be under if your clock every day you had to get up to work. You had no choice but
you
to
had
get
no
up to
choice.
work.
Your life really. I mean, they're probably trying to tell y'all something. If your life really depended on it, you have no choice. You can't call in. If you have 4 hours left on your clock and it was heading into the weekend and this was your last work day, you can't call in. You got to get your ass up and go to work.
You have no choice. Either that or die. So that's a crazy movie. Y'all need to go ahead and check that out when you can. Also concerning money is celebrities.
Yes, and the excessive amounts of money that they show, the excessive amount of material things that money purchase that they show, and what this does. Like, honestly, what does this do?
It misleads the youth. It misleads this country into believing that this life is all about what you have. It's a false sense of value, and it's shaping their mind into thinking that's what life is about and that's what you need to live for, and it's not.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. The teenager, the immature teenager who doesn't understand the value of a dollar, doesn't understand their emotions, doesn't understand that everything you see on TV is not true. Probably almost everything you see on TV is actually not true. You know, so the perception of just seeing these celebrities day in, day out, flossing with this, with that, this car, this, that, just living a life, it's going to make them think in their head, that's the type of lifestyle I want to live. So I have to figure out how to do that. And what it's going to do is make them think about, okay, let me see what they're selling. What are they rapping about? What are they singing about? Okay, if they're rapping and singing about this is the lifestyle that I'm going to try to, the lead, and that often gets, the youth killed, in their life, early, or have them chasing some BS dream.
Chasing a BS dream and racking up these pockets of the businesses they're just consuming. And that's what the music industry, the movie industry, that's what they want you to be, as a consumer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've even seen with documentaries where they talked about the statistics of, you could put a celebrity in a commercial or a movie and their rate, the rates will just skyrocket, and
that's crazy.
They'll sell out of these products.
That is very crazy to think about that point, about just attaching a name to a product, and then all of a sudden that product is now the best thing
best thing
best thing
ever.
ever.
That shows the influence and the power that the celebrities have.
And you know what? I was that dumb. I was a huge. Anybody who knows me knows I was a huge fan of Kobe Bryant. I would get the shoes, I would get the jerseys, I would get the posters, I would get. I would waste all my little money, on that. But I have completely detached myself from, that whole idol, that whole,
you woke up.
Seriously.
You woke up and saw that you were just another.
Like, think about this. If someone goes into a store and they see Michael Jordan jersey, they see a Chicago Bulls jersey with the last name Jordan on the back and the number 23 on the back, and that jersey is $249, right? And then they see a jersey next to it that got my last name, Holmes, on the back, and number 15, and that jersey is, let's say, $14. Mm-hmm. My jersey probably wouldn't, it probably wouldn't get a second look, a second thought. People would spend their money on that Jordan jersey,
yeah.
and it could be made out of the same material.
Yeah.
The numbering could be made, the stitching, everything could be made out of the exact same material.
You're right.
And I just want to ask a question. When you put that, and I know people are going to be like, I know how you was back in the day, so you really can't. I already said I was totally different back in the day. So I know how I was when I had the jersey on and the shoes. I ain't even going front. But when you put that Jordan jersey on, do you feel like him? Do you run like him? Do you
bring
jump
to your
like
life?
him?
Yeah.
What value did that just add to, other than walking in other than like going out of your way to like plan a whole freaking mall visit, knowing damn well you don't have to go to the mall, ain't nothing you need to get from the mall, but you just want to go walk around the mall just to show off that you got that
the perception
jersey.
that you got it like that. The perception of
like they're gonna be like, look, it's MJ over there. Look, it's M. Come on, think about it. How foolish we look around there. Flaunting somebody else's name, last name on our back. Done paid money to put somebody else's name on our back.
I know.
Done paid money to take away our identity to hopefully feel like somebody and want people to like. People don't look at you and see Jordan or Kobe or LeBron.
Yeah, taking this money, instead of investing in yourself and your own business, you're investing in other people who could care less about you at the end of the day. I mean,
seriously, good point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and it's
go ahead. You good?
I'm just gonna say it's just setting everyone up just to be a consumer at the end of the day. It's just setting everyone up to just day by day just be docile.
I mean, that's what money was. I mean, it's more than, I'm sure, more than one reason why money was invented. But other than to put people in power, the points that you just said is pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Buy those cars, buy those boats, buy those private planes and jets and that jewelry.
All things that at one time did not exist, and humanity still survives.
Yeah.
So I mean, seriously, think about that. It was something else. Another point I wanted to make.
Also, just to add, even celebrities or the wealthy using their status or their money to bribe businesses, to bribe colleges, even politicians to benefit themselves.
We recently saw that in the news, how all of those, wealthy people was paying. Does that really surprise, like, for real? Did they really have to, like, break the news, make a big deal out of it? Does that really surprise people that people with money will use that money to get an advance in life? Does that really surprise people? That shit should be common sense. Of course. I always thought that, a lot of, like, seriously, think about this. Rich people, their kids are often depicted as, especially the females, ditzy, entitled, whatever. Right. But yet they graduate, some of them go get degrees. Mm-hmm. So when you think about how can someone be depicted as ditzy and an airhead, and entitled because, I got everything I've always wanted. So how can someone depicted at that then turn around and, graduate from a 4-year college in 4 years with no problem? I always thought about, I'm sure the parents had some type of influence on whatever grade, paying for grades.
I'm sure
in high school that happens. schools. I'm sure in high school, not just in college. I'm sure in high school.
Oh yeah, like them private schools.
Think
where it
about
really matters.
this. Think about this. Athletes, even, and I'm not even talking about broke athletes. Even athletes that come from money, parents who come from money. You have those wealthy parents who want to put their kids in everything, right?
Right.
So they're going to, as they get older in high school, they're going to want to, what if their grades aren't good and they need grades in high school in order to go to a certain prestigious college or whatnot? You don't think their parents going to make sure them damn grades are good no matter what in high school? You don't think they going to them teachers, pulling them to the side, giving on parent-teacher conference, leaving that envelope with a check in there?
Like, get real. And this has been happening. It's just more recently being exposed because of social media.
And it maybe was only exposed just something may have been going on, and they trying to distract us. Say like, shit, think of a story. Go ahead and
I think it's a distraction. It still is happy. Yeah, it is a distraction. It's like it's been happening. So what's the point in exposing this one person? There's a deeper reason why they're doing all this. Also, deeper meanings. I mean, music. Music is a big one that has deeper meanings. Man. Major influence.
In my opinion, music is one of the most influential things. Point blank. Period. You can get whatever type of message, positive, negative, evil, whatever, through music. And you could subliminally get it through that without a lot of people picking it up, picking up on it. Like, seriously.
Through the beats, through the lyrics. It's very subliminal.
Super influential. And people know this. And a lot of celebrities, they will, when they get interviewed, especially in the beginning of their careers, they always say, I want to be an inspiration to kids. I want to be a role model to kids. I want to be, but do you really? And then when you think about the music that they make,
so it's like
example. And shit, I'll never say Beyonce. I don't know. I was gonna say I'll never say Beyonce because the whole Beehive thing, but I think that
we're just not gonna touch on Beyonce here, y'all.
But I think I've seen recently her Beehive is a little bit fed up with her, so I think
fed up. I didn't hear that. We're
they love Buzz going a little, going away a little bit. Seriously, I read, it was, it was the I think it was like that last blatant performance she had
with like satanic blatant. She's super blatant. Listen to her lyrics. Look at the clothes that she wears, the costumes.
Getting overboard with it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But back to Cardi B. The song Money. Very catchy song. Really good. I'm not even gonna lie. Catchy song, catchy lyrics. But I can separate, the whole. This is 100% pure entertainment from, okay, this is a message for me to think about, like, oh, if money can get me this, money can get me that, money is important, money, the kids can't do that, teenagers can't do that, little girls who want to be like her, will hear that song and be like, okay, if Cardi B feels this way about money, this is how I'm going to.
That's what I'm going to focus on in my life is money.
Self-identify with what, just like with the Kobe thing. I promise you couldn't tell me when I had them shoes, when I had that jersey, and when I was on that court that I wasn't him. My friends would tell you. I'm telling my brothers would tell you.
And I'm sure a lot of other kids felt that way. Yeah.
So you start to self-identify. But listen, there's a difference between mimicking basketball moves and something like that, and the difference between mimicking lyrics in a video about money, about what to go do for money, like what women do for money, what she would do for money, what to do to get a bag, like all of that stuff. Like a lot of the songs they talk about doing a whole bunch of
doing anything pretty much for money, do this for money. Listen to the song. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of it,
and we're just talking about pretty much how us as adults can separate the entertainment, lyrics from whatever. But you know what? Those entertainers know that. They 100% know that. I know adults can separate this, and I know teenagers can't. I'm not here to influence adults. I'm here to influence teenagers.
They're targeting the youth.
Think about it. Think about that. They're not here to influence adults because adults already know they ain't trying to influence us. They're here to influence teenagers, people who are going to go buy, buy that crap pretty much. at the end of the day, go buy that crap. I don't care. Go buy that crap. I'll say it again. It's crap.
Pretty much, yeah. The message that they're trying to put out or are putting out with the music is crazy.
So if anyone is still watching this, especially if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe,
and ring the notifications bell. So anytime that we post new vlogs, new podcast episode, you guys will be the first to know.
Now I'm going to, since we're talking about YouTube, I'm going to talk about the curse and blessings of YouTube. And also, it seems like other platforms has also kind of followed suit in monetizing videos and stuff like that. Now, I actually think that's a pretty cool thing because it allows people to kind of get from under the umbrella of working for other people and maybe like, oh, maybe I could showcase my talents, with DIY projects, carpentry, makeup, cooking, whatever, documentaries.
Absolutely. You can get your voice heard. You can share your personal stories. You can see all walks of life.
And you can also, build a business from doing that and bringing money by doing so. So that's the blessings that could come from it. People can, get away from that, corporate life and kind of start something from themselves.
Right.
It gives you the ability of,
to create your own content, create your own path, and live the life that you want to live without having to be tied down and working for others. Work for yourself.
Pretty much.
That's really what we want to do, is just kind of get our word out there and be able to work for ourselves. But there are curses to YouTube or other platforms as well that are out there. A couple of the curses that are out there are like explicit videos. There is, with providing platforms, there's the good and there's the bad. So the explicit videos that are out there, the redundant twerk videos, it just really dumbs you down or makes you even more docile than you already are with everything that they're putting out there.
Well, yeah, just to piggyback on what she said, obviously the explicit videos, any child that knows how to put www.worldstar or whatever other, even sometimes now on YouTube and on Facebook, all you have to do is click a button and say, I'm 18.
Yeah, I'm 18 or older.
Sometimes you don't even have to do that. And then you have access to all type of explicit videos, whether it's, in sexual nature or whether it's like someone getting shot up or, the police shooting somebody up or just, graphic videos that people shouldn't be exposed to, and realistically that people shouldn't be exposed to or whatever.
Yeah.
But people know that they can capitalize because they know that we live in such a society where people want to see that type of stuff. Well, people will go watch these redundant twerk videos. Well, somehow it's like, okay, you see a handful full of twerk videos. Isn't it like you've seen one, you've seen them all? How? I don't understand for the life of me how all of these videos are being released every day by different individuals, and they're getting so many consistent views. Isn't that like, would you go on YouTube or go on whatever website and watch different people make the same egg every day? Like seriously, would you? Listen, that's what it is. Would you go on YouTube every single day or WorldStar every single day and see that, this person made an egg, this person made an egg, this person has an egg video, this person has an egg video? Do you expect those videos to get hundreds of thousands of views every single time they're uploaded?
You wouldn't expect it.
But somehow these do. So what that is doing, is people are going, okay, I have a way to monetize, so I'm going to devalue myself or dumb myself down and go do some retarded shit like jump over a bunch of random shit in Walmart or jump on people's cars, or
completely set up the entire scene and it's completely fake.
Yeah,
and act like it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And views equate money, so they're gonna do anything to get that click and get that.
And I'm all for parodies and people showcasing like, acting abilities and things that they're really building content on. But I'm not talking about like film me, I'm about to go into Target, and you see that whole, display of whatever, I'm going to knock it down. Stupidity.
Or like we
Them-
talked about this too, like let's sit in front of each other and break up right now.
Oh, yeah,
While
yeah.
the camera's rolling.
Like that, like come on, like that foolish shit. Like come on, like you, like where these lights come from? Oh, y'all didn't rehearse. Like come on, like think about that. Like think
Yeah.
how do those videos get so many freaking views? Like y'all sit. First of all, y'all just staged a rehearsed breakup to share with the world.
To share with the world, and the world is clicking on
And
it.
the world is watching it and buying and eating that shit up and comment, don't leave him. Oh my God, y'all can make it.
Like wasting your time on
the
this. Go
fuck?
read a book. Go read something else
Look,
that can benefit
there-
your life. Don't
look,
watch this.
Look, this is our opinion. I don't care that they're 100% knowing that y'all are foolish enough to click on it. That's why they're doing it, knowing that y'all are going to be the ones putting money in their pockets.
And a lot of times it's clickbait. If you know what clickbait is, it just baits you in to click on the video. They'll say it's one thing in the description of the video or the title, and it has nothing to do with the description or the title. They just want that view.
Yeah, they just want the view. They'll take like matter of fact, I'll go ahead and it's messed up when some people do this, but Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. But in this situation, I've seen so many videos on YouTube where people would just have a caption about breaking news about something that happened, and when you click on it, it's the same news that's been being recycled, or
It's
it might be something,
recycled.
or it might be something different. But everybody knows this is the thing to capitalize on now. So even if it may be a little bit disrespectful to keep on sharing this story, think about if that happened to somebody, and if that happened to your brother, your sister, and
Would
people,
you,
and people,
would you also want to capitalize off of your dead family member?
yeah,
Would you?
well, I don't know if his people is doing it, but
You don't want other people to.
yeah,
do it,
you
that's for
definitely
sure.
don't want other people to do it. If I know that somebody was taking a video of like the death of one of my siblings and recirculating it and putting their own narrative
Oh my
behind
God,
it
yes.
and drawing their own conclusions. That at the end of the day, when you
That's
break it
hurtful.
down, that's what's going on. They're just recirculating the video. And then everybody's attaching their own narrative, their own opinion, conclusion on what happened, why it could have possibly happened. And the truth about it is, a lot of them are only doing it because they know it's a hot topic and people will click, and it's going to equate to money, because views equate to money.
To money. That's what it's about at the end of the day.
At the end
is
of the day,
money.
money. Root of all evil for a reason. We just highlighted so many points of the bad things that comes with money, and I'm sure there's plenty more.
Yeah.
But seriously, when y'all think about it, 100% worthless.
It's a paper
Object.
A
The
coin.
only reason why it
Yeah.
has so much value is because y'all allow it to carry so much value.
Mhm.
Like the moment you allow money to be just what you need it to be, just a necessity to do this and stop feeding your money to all of these other businesses that's stretching all of your money out in a million different ways, you feel, I'm serious. I've stopped doing a significant amount of, think about this. If someone gambles, it's fashionable, you like, nice things,
Mhm.
Want to keep up with the Joneses, whatever, then chances are they're going to be living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how they can, get everything that they want. Not that they need, that they want, just to, for what, at the end of the day, for a phony perception or persona of who you think you are, because none of that stuff should really, none of that stuff builds character, attributes, nothing.
And you can't take it when
None
you
of that.
leave.
Look,
That's for
I
sure.
tell you what, I could be the brokest person in the world, and I could still have far better character and attributes than the richest person in the world. So that money doesn't equate any of that.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
Well, you sound woke to me, Chad. And, we hope that anyone got something from this today. Hopefully we could touch someone. And yeah, we appreciate you guys for hanging in there if you're still listening, and for tuning in to Planting Seeds.
Yes, this was episode 4. Eventually, we're going to start losing count. So,
hopefully not. We're trying to keep up. But next episode 5, you guys are. Hopefully, you tune in for it. We're going to be talking a little bit more about. You know what our next topic is?
Don't know, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about more conspiracies here shortly. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bye.